The first scene of the fifth act opens at night on a street in Cyprus outside Bianca's house. In sharp contrast with the quiet and tender scene that closed Act 4, this will be a chaotic scene with lots of confusion, comings, goings, violence, shouting and accusations. Iago is with Roderigo, whom he has persuaded to murder Cassio. He instructs him to hide himself behind a wall with his sword unsheathed and at the ready, so that he can ambush and stab him as soon as he exits from Bianca's house. Here, stand behind this bulk, straight will he come. Wear thy good rapier bare, and put it home. Quick, quick, fear nothing. He assures him that he will be by his side throughout, but that they are gambling with their lives here. I'll be at thy elbow. It makes us or it mars us. Think on that, and fix most firm thy resolution. Note the alliteration in the proverb here, it makes us or it mars us, which emphasises the fact that the outcome is black and white. They are either successful or ruined. There is no in-between. Iago makes himself scarce, leaving Roderigo alone. Voicing his true thoughts, he admits that he has no great devotion to the deed, i.e. that his heart isn't really in the scheme, but that Iago hath given me satisfying or compelling reasons to go ahead. We can only assume that he has convinced Roderigo that, with Cassio out of the way, Desdemona will be his for the taking. Note that our sympathy for Roderigo's being fooled by the ruthless Iago is tempered somewhat by the little value he places on another man's life, as he reasons that Cassio's removal will be no great loss. "'Tis but a man gone. Forth my sword, he dies." Out of earshot, Iago revels in the ease of his manipulation and provocation of the foolish young man. "I have rubbed this young quat almost to the sense," and he grows angry. Note the contemptuous way Iago refers to him as a young quat, which is another word for a spot or a pimple, that he is rubbed and picked at until it has become angry, irritated and sore. He also reveals that as long as one of the two dies, the enterprise will have been successful, as he stands to gain not only by the death of Cassio, but also by the death of Roderigo. Now, whether he kill Cassio, or Cassio him, or each do kill the other, every way makes my gain, he coldly muses. If Roderigo survives, he will want all the gold and jewels back that Iago admits he has bobbed, i.e. cheated from him as gifts to Desdemona. That, declares Iago, must not be. Equally, Cassio's continuing presence is undesirable. If Cassio do remain, he hath a daily beauty in his life that makes me ugly. While seeming to refer to Cassio's good looks making him seem ugly in comparison, it is possible that he is actually referring somewhat obscurely to the desirable position that Cassio holds, i.e. of being Othello's lieutenant, that makes his own position as ensign seem ugly. Iago has never really mentioned Cassio's handsomeness being a motivation before, although this could just be an indication of his own more general, seething and contradictory mass of bitterness, resentment and jealousy that is aimed at anyone who crosses his path. A more practical reason for wanting Cassio out of the way is that Othello may confide in him and expose Iago for what he really is. And besides, the more may unfold me to him. There I stand in much peril. As Cassio walks by, Roderigo jumps out to attack him. Cassio's jacket, probably a leather jerkin, is stronger than Roderigo expects it to be, and fortunately it protects him, giving Cassio the chance to attack Roderigo back. "That thrust had been mine enemy indeed, but that my coat is better than thou thinkest. I will make proof of thine." Cassio easily wounds him, with Roderigo crying out, "Oh, I am slain!" or killed. Making the most of the confusion, Iago sneaks up behind Cassio and stabs him in the leg before running off. Hearing the commotion, as both Cassio and Roderigo shout and call for assistance, Othello appears on a balcony above the stage. He hears the wounded Cassio and believes that Iago has indeed kept his promise to kill him. The voice of Cassio, Iago keeps his word. When Roderigo calls out, "Oh, villain that I am!" Othello mistakes Roderigo's self-pitying and regretful wail for Cassio's, and he is heartened not only by Cassio's implied guilty conscience, but also by Iago's allegiance to him. He is thus further emboldened to go ahead with his plan to avenge Desdemona's supposed betrayal. 'Tis he, O brave Iago, honest and just, that has such noble sense of thy friend's wrong. Thou teachest me. In an apostrophe he addresses the absent Desdemona not only as minion, which was used either as a term of abuse or affection. Remember how he referred to her affectionately as an excellent wretch back in Act 3, Scene 3, but also as strumpet or whore, and reminds her that her cursed end is coming fast. Minion, your dear lies dead, and your unblessed fate hies. Strumpet, I come. Forth of my heart those charms, thine eyes are blotted. Thy bed lust stain shall with lust's blood be spotted. Note the plosive alliteration in your dear lies dead, which underscores Othello's hatred for his once beloved wife. Calling her a whore, he announces that he has erased the effect of her beautiful eyes from his heart, and that her bed, stained both literally and metaphorically from the illicit sex she has had with Cassio, shall soon be spotted with her blood. Note how he uses the same language to equate the stains of lust with the blood of lust, demonstrating his belief that his murderous act will be one of retribution, and therefore justified. He exits. Lodovico, accompanied by Gratiano, who has just arrived from Venice with the news of Brabantio's death, come across the chaotic scene. They are confused by all the shouting in the darkness of the night and are worried that this may be a ploy to lure them into an ambush. They are therefore reluctant to go to help without more backup. 2 or 3 groan, "It is a heavy night. These may be counterfeits. Let us think it unsafe to come into the cry without more help." Iago innocently returns, bearing a light and a weapon, and dressed as though for bed, wanting to know what all the commotion is about. "Who's there? Whose noise is this that cries on murder?" he disingenuously inquires. Note how, when Gratiano identifies him as Othello's ancient, Lodovico sings his praises, describing him as a very valiant fellow. Iago's reputation as a man of honesty is widespread. Iago pretends to be shocked by the violence to which Cassio has been subjected. "Oh me, lieutenant, what villains have done this?" Pretending to help him and to avenge his attack, he stabs Roderigo, who realises too late that Iago is not what he has appeared to be, and that he has been betrayed. "Oh, damned Iago! Oh, inhuman dog!" Now that Roderigo has been silenced, however, Iago is safe to rouse the town. "Kill men of the dark? Where be these bloody thieves? How silent is this town? Ho! Murder! Murder!" Lodovico and Gratiano now come forward as Iago begins to tend to Cassio's wound by binding it with his shirt. The noise outside Bianca's house has roused her, and she enters, horrified to see Cassio wounded. "Oh, my dear Cassio, my sweet Cassio! Oh, Cassio, Cassio, Cassio!" Note how Iago immediately addresses her, "Oh, notable strumpet," in order to characterise her as a well-known prostitute and, therefore, morally corrupt. Don't forget that Lodovico and Gratiano, only recently arrived in Cyprus, don't know her at all. Iago needs her to appear to them as a woman of dubious character, so that he can shift the blame onto her by accusing her of being involved in the attack. "Gentlemen all, I do suspect this trash to be a party in this injury." He now manipulates the situation by pretending not only to discover the identity of Cassio's attacker, but also to be shocked by it, Patience a while, good Cassio. Come, come, lend me a light. Know we this face or no? Alas, my friend and my dear countryman, Roderigo? No. Yes, sure. Oh, heaven, Roderigo! Iago calls for a chair, so that some good man can bear Cassio carefully from hence. I'll fetch the general surgeon. He rudely tells Bianca to stop interfering, while he questions Cassio as to Roderigo's possible motive for the attack. He that lies slain here, Cassio, was my dear friend. What malice, or ill-feeling, was between you? Cassio responds that there was none in the world, nor do I know the man. Cassio is carried off stage, and Iago can now turn his attention fully onto trying to fit Bianca up as Roderigo's accomplice for the crime, as he takes advantage of the paleness of her face, no doubt caused by shock and sorrow, and perhaps a little queasiness at the sight of all the blood. Stay you, good gentleman. Look you pale, mistress? Do you perceive the ghastness or look of terror of her eye? To Bianca, nay, if you stare, we shall hear more anon. Behold her well. I pray you, look upon her. Do you see, gentlemen? Nay, guiltiness will speak, though tongues were out of use. In other words, she has no need to speak. Her face has her guilt written all over it. Emilia now enters to find out what is going on. Iago fills her in with the official version of events. Cassio hath been set on in the dark by Roderigo and fellows that escaped. He's almost slain and Roderigo dead. Emilia is shocked by what she hears. Iago continues with his campaign to frame Bianca. This is the fruits or the result of whoring, he says, and he orders Emilia to find out from Cassio where he supped tonight, knowing full well that he dined with Bianca. Bianca is, as you would expect, outraged at the implication. He supped at my house, but I therefore shake not. In other words, she has no problem in saying that she was with him before the attack, because she has done nothing of which to be ashamed. Iago, of course, takes no notice and orders that she go with him. Note how Emilia, in a blatant display of double standards, turns against her. Oh, fie upon thee, strumpet! Don't forget that in the previous scene she was advocating cheating on your husband if the reward was high enough. Bianca fires back with the assertion that she is no prostitute and is actually just as moral as Emilia. I am no strumpet, but of life as honest as you that thus abuse me. The scene ends with Iago demonstrating his control over everything as he orchestrates everyone's movements. To Lodovico and Gratiano, kind gentlemen, let's go see poor Cassio dressed or bandaged. To Bianca, come, mistress, you must tell us another tale. While to his wife, Emilia, run you to the citadel and tell my lord and lady what hath happed. He sends everyone on their way in order to have a moment alone, as he admits that tonight is make or break for him. This is the night that either makes me or fordoes me quite. There is no more that Iago can do, and the way in which the events will unfold, as we go into the final scene, is now out of his hands. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos on English language topics and exam techniques, and English literature texts.